All right, cyber traders, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday, June 24th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check for all of us on social media. I see a bunch of us on YouTube Live today. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear for all of us live inside the trading room. I believe we are good to go, including William, Robert, and Drea. Well, we'll give him a quick shout in just a moment. Kathleen, Peter, Debbie, Norman, who had a fantastic morning himself here today. Great to see everybody. Michael as well. So let's hop right into it. I got to make this meeting really quick, to be honest with you. We don't have class lined up ahead, and I'll be joining us for all of us live inside the trading room. I'll be back on the mic at least later on today at 3:30. I got a UPS delivery coming up here, and they said anywhere between 2:30 to 4:30. And if you're not at the door for this type of delivery, I think that they just send it to their main service center. Now I have to give Andrea a big shout out because he's actually the sender of this package. It's a nice package of Italian delicacies. I'm sure some biscotti in there. Hopefully some of the chocolate hazelnut biscotti, Andrea. Now enough about that because I want to make sure I'm there for the package. So without further ado, OCGN. We're going to put this on our watch list easily to begin. The stock ended up making like a nice trend up heading into the day. Ended up making this big pop over 8. So for what it's worth, this was one of the easier trades that we ended up catching throughout the entire day. I ended up just setting a stop limit order over 8. The second it broke over that level, I got filled. And fortunately, in this occasion, it ended up leading to a nice pop. So I ended up leaving a lot of money on the table too. I got out at like 8:13, 8:14, just for a quick trade, quick in and out. But for what it's worth, ended up pushing all the way up towards over 850. And for right now, it's trying to build a support. I ended up jumping in and out of this trade earlier, also off of 817, practically where it's like trying to build that level now. So for right now, I'll put this on our list, the OCGN trade. It's a stock that we're all familiar with. Stock's up 8+%. So hopefully there's a lot more life left to it. All right. Now, alongside that, though, let's go over a couple of other stocks in the meantime, and then we'll just jump right through the gainers and losers list here. So I'll just tell you folks, just full transparency, a stock I'm in right now, I'm into not the OCGN, I wish I was, but the TRCH trade. I'm currently long right now, right from 497. So, just for right now, I was calling that out live inside our trading room, at least, off the opening bell print. So it's getting a bit of a squeeze off of 5 right now. The opening bell print was 494. So I was calling that out earlier. I'll put this on the side list. Again, we're pretty familiar with this stock at this point. So, of course, I'm in it. I hope to see this, run up 50, 60 cents. That would be fantastic. But I'll come back to this at the end. Although I'm in it, doesn't mean that we're going to, put it on the list. I mean, I hope it runs up, but we'll see if there's better opportunities even at this point. All right. And then the last one here, the ORPH. This is the other stock I'm in. I'm still in. And if I waste this profit, I'll be a little upset just for how long I've been in the trade. I've been in this stock since basically 11:15 in the morning, whenever this drop was here towards 770, 775. My average price right now, I'm loaded up on shares. I'm in at 778 is my average. So, for right now, I'm certainly hoping for this to, hold a higher low from here, push back up over 8. If we get the pop over 8 here, I'm really, expecting a big move off that price. Stock's up 5+%. It's like another stock we'll come back to by the end of the meeting. Certainly if it gets closer to 8, I'll put it on our main list because I still feel that's a really good setup to enter off of. I have a good entry off of yesterday's chart. We ended up seeing a lot of buying off of 775 in particular. If I'm not mistaken, I think either the opening bell or probably the closing bell print on the ORPH yesterday was right at 770. So you could see how well that level was holding throughout the morning and into the afternoon. So for right now, we'll come back to both of those trades, the Torch and the ORPH trade. All right. This is a stock I have just on my other monitor right now. Again, this one we'll probably come back to at the end of it all. Express is at the high of the day, and I got that from Benzingo right before we started. So it's up 4+%, cheap stock, pushing up relatively slow up to 6. So it looks good, smells good. We'll come back to it because otherwise it's like not really moving as fast as we've seen it move before. So, you'd want to see a nice move up with all of the other Reddit stocks, in my opinion. AMC is getting a small push off 56. BB BlackBerry, I think they have earnings after the bell today, if I'm not mistaken. So they're probably just going to be slow heading into the close. So I don't know. I just had it on my other screen. I'm not in Express. I'm in the other two, not in Express right now. But I'll tell you, Express looks the best out of the three, really. So we'll come back to all three of those. And then what we'll do right now is just go right from the top, folks. We'll just go across the gainers and losers list here. Sorry, I got a little like OCD. I got to, I don't know. You got to bear with me there for a quick moment. I have big OCD, so I just had to make sure that was all nice and even. All right, so start from the top. The MRIN trade up 62+%. I don't know, choppy. I'm gonna pass on it right now. Ended up making a big move in pre-market, and then it fell flat heading into the 9 o'clock time frame when Fausto started the meeting. So I wasn't really too keen on that leading into the market open, and obviously dropped. DBGI, speaking of dropping, ended up making a big run up, spiked up, and then reopened up off a halt. Ended up making a bit of a bounce. I wasn't there for that, but ended up dying off, as you could see here. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to pass on this. This GTT looked good, at least going into 2 o'clock. I took my eyes off it. Damn. It looked so good going into 2 o'clock, exactly like I said. Nice level 1 stock. It was on our pre-market watch list. It was on our main morning watch list, if I'm not mistaken. Stock was trending down going into the market open, so kind of like the MRIN trade. I was expecting a bit of consolidation at least before potential pop, and then just once the volume continued to die off after 9:30, I just kind of switched over to another trade. I didn't really follow this at all. So for what it's worth, it did make a really strong push, right? Bounced essentially off of 265, 260-ish, ran 65, 70 cents up. And, right now, perhaps it could build a higher low. Perhaps this could build a support, right off of 305 and spike back up. Again, I don't know. I'm very picky to put stocks on our main watch list. So we'll come back to this at the end, I feel. SEMR, Fausto called out after the market opened up, ended up having a huge spread, right? Thin liquidity on the book, big spread on the matrix at least. XYF, not much going on there. PIRS. Now, this looks pretty interesting, right? We caught this from pre-market early. It was pretty flat afterwards, so we didn't really follow it as much, into the open. Then it caught our eye, of course. It did pop, and then from there we called it out. So thankfully, there was a lot left on this trade for us to capitalize on as it ended up breaking higher, popped over 4, made for an easy trade from there, to be honest. And right now, it's still holding strong. So definitely the Piers trade, PIRS. We'll put this on our main list. I'm going to tag this alongside the OCGN for right now. Those are the two on our main watch list for right now. MOXC, I got to say, this stock is still pretty active. I'm not a fan of the liquidity on the book. Just big spread fluctuating anywhere between, like 10 to 25 cents we could just shoot from the hip from and say. So I'm not a fan of that, but the stock is making a bit of a bounce right now. So perhaps there could be more of a run left to it. Oh, that's right. You know what? I was wondering, I was like, why do I have this on a monthly chart here? You can see it says, MOXC MO monthly. This is the reason why. I never had this on a monthly chart. And then for MOXC, as it was pushing up earlier into the afternoon, I was like, is this stock breaking all-time highs? And then you go to check the monthly chart here, and obviously not. So let me just jump back to a daily chart for right now. See, it kind of fools you. All right, here's a stock we are familiar with, Rail, RAIL. Nice push right now. Getting a little choppy around 7, so perhaps 710 is the bigger level right off the high, essentially. Not much of an order showing on the ask just yet, but my assumption is that right off of 710, there's going to be a bigger order showing. It's through the NASDAQ, so there should be a bigger order if it's going to be through the NASDAQ. So leaves me to believe it might be through a different exchange, maybe the ARCA book, the BADI book. But perhaps for right now, either way, Rail put on our main list, just still strong near the highs at this time of the day. All right, so we build up our list like this, right? I mean, then I'll come back to the stocks on the side, and we'll kind of cherry pick those, whatever of those look the best. I do see a call out right now from Norman, if I'm not mistaken. I see it on Benzinga Pro, as I have that right below this monitor that I'm sharing the screen from, and it's the AHT trade, right? Hospitality stock ended up pushing up pretty nicely earlier. I would have gotten to this anyway, but I kind of the stars aligned for me to just skip ahead and just, jump to this stock. But yeah, pushing up really well here. So easily enough, we'll put this on our main list. I like this a lot more than the rail trade even, and rail is on our main list. This one not as choppy, making a stronger, more volatile push up off the previous high of the day from earlier, roughly off 495. And then obviously, pushing up higher here. So, just look out. Oh, not even that. I was going to say, look out for the stack of orders on the S, 10,000 shares, but right off the high of the day right now, about 33,000 shares on the S, 32,000 shares at 514. Really quick, I'm just catching this right now too. I want to jump to YouTube for all of us on YouTube Live right now. Cyrus asking here, have you went through the DBGI trade? So perhaps joining us a second or so late, no problem. So we'll jump back to DBGI fast. This stock just seems to be on its way down to fill the gap, perhaps maybe make the bounce off of 5. But, for a stock that ended up making such a big spike and pop and halt and, move up after, I say it all the time, so I'll say it again here. When the volume dies off, so does the stock, right? I hate to sound like a broken record player at that, right? But, I don't say that to Cyrus in particular. I say that to everybody because if you get stuck trying to hold on to this stock off the highs or trying to expect a new bounce or run up later on and the volume dies off, it's easy to say here, but we talk about this each and every day, right, here in this meeting. And Fausto talks about it in the morning. Just if it's not breaking higher, there's only one other way it's going to go. I have probably 3 to 4 other lines that are just the same. Yeah, so for right now, this stock's going to continue to dump off, I'd imagine. All right, ENG, a nice bounce from earlier. Well, pop first, and then the bounce here roughly off of like 355, 360-ish, and then pushing up for the meantime. So, yeah, I would assume resistance off of 4 on the ask. There's not going to be an order showing just yet, but I'd imagine for there to be one. And then also practically right off the high. I mean, you could just see that one there, 36,000+ share iceberg at 388. So, yeah, for right now, ENG will put on our list, and if it doesn't break higher, then, hey, at least the stock is shortable. We can short this on the way down. If this is just going to top off here and pull back further, that happens a lot. So, should that situation happen, that could be something for us to capitalize on there. I'll tell you what, really quick. One of the stocks I said I was going to jump to afterwards, the Torch trade. I'm in it right now from 497. I'm just clocking out. I got 2-cent profit. I call it a scratch trade even. So I'm not going to put that stock on our main list at this point, but just out on that one. All right, so let's see what else we got. Not a whole lot happening really on that one trade, at least Torch. VIPs, ooh, got a couple of other familiar names here. I'm sorry, before we hop over to the losers list here. UXIN, pop from earlier, still maybe pushing up here a bit. I feel like there's some better opportunities right now at this time, but made a nice run from before. Atos, same thing, ended up making a really big push from earlier this morning, made the slingshot roughly off of like 715, and ended up pushing all the way up towards just about 850. So pretty flat as you could see since. So right now we're just going to skip, scratch it from our list, put it on your side list for tomorrow. And then U1. So U1 here, a stock we are familiar with. We talked about this just over the last couple weeks, but, just basically this time last year, right? We first saw this stock pop. So, again, you hope to see the stock make a fraction of the run that it made back a year ago. And we've seen that happen here, if not, well, not more, but, just as big of a move in my eyes. So, for right now, making a sharp push from earlier this afternoon. And yeah, it ended up bouncing off of 10, perhaps building a higher low here and squeezing back up. I'll slip this on our list here, I guess. We'll put it on the bottom. All right, so let's see what else we got. We'll hop over to the losers list. And folks, for all of us on Facebook, YouTube Live, let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to check out. For all of us live inside the trading room, same thing. This Rite Aid trade ended up dropping off of bad earnings, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the stock just hasn't really done too much so far this afternoon, let alone throughout the whole morning. I guess the best move was off of 18, the short. If you're able to get in on that, is expecting a false breakout from 18, going short, then running it down. I don't know, just pretty flat right now. It's shortable. It's near the lows. So for all of those reasons, I like it. And Rite Aid, we are familiar with the stock itself. It wouldn't hurt me to put this on our main list, but Up and look at that. All right, so you know what? I sold myself into doing it, but that's the main reason why I'm putting it on our list right now. Now we're seeing a bigger order at 1750, 25,000 share order. I was looking at that. I was like, there's only like 4,000 shares, and say that out loud, but I was looking at that. I was like, flat. I don't need to put it on our list. And then right there, 1750 proving itself to be a bit of a support coming up. So perhaps if this support breaks and we see more selling coming in below 1750, that could lead to a new drop. So I'll consider it. I'll put it on our list for right now. CLSD will skip over here. A whole bunch of stuff hard to borrow on the loser side for right now. So those we're not really going to really consider unless if they're down big enough for a dead cat bounce, but not really seeing that here. Oh, you know what? I was wondering, I'm like, what's missing here? Got the S&P ETF, the SPY I like to show. Sometimes the Dow, sometimes the SPY. And yeah, SPY right now at the high of the day, whereas yesterday it was like as flat and dead as can be. SPY right now at least is making a bit of a triple top, if not breaking higher right now. So we'll see if there's any stocks that could be moving with the market into the afternoon. The stock IHT, another hospitality stock, much like AHT, but I just saw this pop up on Benzinga Pro, and I just want to jump to it. This looks pretty good. It's up 9+% right now, so IHT will kind of tag on our list as well with AHT. From Lynette, VIPS and VZIO. VIPS up 9+% at the highs, right? So that looks pretty good for as much as it dropped off even back from March of this year. Perhaps that could lead to a bigger run into the afternoon. So it's hard to not put that on our list. VZIO, if I'm going to put one of the two on our list, it'll probably be the VIPS. Yeah, VIPS I like a little bit there. From RJF on YouTube asking about the ALF trade. Does it have one more push? So the other day I was wrong on that, right? It was breaking all-time highs, but it was trading God knows how many shares across the afternoon, and it was pretty flat when we were watching it at the time that we were watching it. And then, of course, maybe like 5 minutes after I finished up the stream, it ended up popping, right? So we ended up catching that move actually live inside our trading room that day, 2 days ago. Yesterday it flopped. And today, although it popped after the market opened up, it could move up. It might not. I don't know. I'm not interested really in maybe not, right? If it does pop and if you're in it, then God bless. Then you're going to do really well given the typical volatility that we've seen the stock have, over the last 3 days. This could easily make a 50-cent move if the stars align. But for right now, I don't know. It's like coiling up. So it can go one of two ways, right? Michael SWBI at the high of the day. Yeah, that looks pretty interesting. More as a swing trade than anything. Stock's been like a difficult day trade, so it's a good call from Mike right here. More on the swing side there, I'd say. This one we'll put on our list, and this will wrap it up, I think. The SRNE. So, you know what? For the GTT out there, I don't think I'll be as keen to put that on our list at this point. Any of the other stocks I kind of, said I'd, jump back to. I think at this point, between the stocks that we've just kind of, found out or looked at here, I think that we have a pretty good list altogether. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stocks in total, right? So we don't really need to put anything else on our watch list now. All right. So, hey, if there is anything else that pops, if it's the ALF, if it's, the GTT, I said I'd jump to that, but at this point, we're pretty much good. If it's anything else otherwise, we'll look to call it out and try and, jump to it fast enough to, make some money on it. But otherwise, I'd start and stick with this list here and see if we can, work with this list heading into the afternoon. I'm jumping. Oh, my God. That was a tough one to blurt out there. It's been a long freaking week, folks. Oh my God, I got my water here too, so I appreciate you sticking with me as I'm stuttering my ass off. All right, I appreciate you folks. For all of us on YouTube Live, ooh, there we go, RJF picking up 24 cents on ALF. Great job from RJF there. For all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, feel free to join us live inside our trading room. Go right down to the link on the banner below just to get yourself started. Whew, for Michael L., who I'm going to be jumping into a coaching session with. Hopefully he'll be able to survive me and my stuttering heading into the afternoon. I'll talk to you folks coming up at 3:30. Take care.